Hello, my name's Brian. I'm an Agile management consultant, and earlier last year I left the smoke of old London town and headed north. Welcome to glorious Yorkshire. Now I'm using the Agile management practices to get stuff done around the house. We have some grand plans on the roadmap. But plans are nothing. We've actually got to get stuff done. But if agility is just a bunch of silly words to you, then don't worry. Stick around. Just enjoy watching stuff getting done. There are still some bits I need to do on the posts. I just need to round over that corner so that it fits snugly in the rafter there. And the same on the beams. That's what we needed to do. That round off is now means that's going to mate nicely.
Finally, after many months, assembly can begin. The first post is dropped onto its padstone and a rafter is used to secure it. The sole plate is put into place. Straps are used to pull the sole plate into its slot in the first post, then left ready to repeat the operation on the second post. The braces are assembled onto the beam and the beam is inserted into the second post. It takes some wrangling to get the beam and brace into the second post. The beam and brace must be slid into the post together. They can't be done separately. I'm trying to use the weight of the beam to knock itself into the mortise.
Damn it. Nice try. There it goes.
Once it does drop in, a strap is used to stop it coming apart again. Doing all of this single-handedly has its challenges. There is nobody to support the pieces as I try to align them. Whilst I'm trying to get the beam into the first post, the second post falls over, the sole plate tearing out the carefully crafted mortise it was sitting in. A rethink is needed. A small chock of wood is clamped to the post to give the beam something to sit on, whilst they get both the beam and brace aligned with their mortises.
Oh, it's really a two-man job.
A ladder temporarily supports the second post until I can get a rafter in place to secure it. The beam won't go into the post because there is a twist in the beam. Something I should have thought about when machining the tenons instead of assuming that the beam was straight. Just a degree or two is enough for the close-fitting mortises and tenon to be out. To counteract the twist, I rig up a lever from an old piece of 3x2 that I have lying around. Apply some compression with straps that are pulling everything together, then pull on the lever and the tenon moves in. Once the beam is in place, I can fix the damage done to the bottom of the second post. The piece of the post torn off by the sole plate is glued back into position to secure the sole plate. Clamps hold everything together whilst the exterior grade glue dries. Rafters go in next. They are only secured to the ridge beam. They will need to be secured to the oak beam once the twist has been corrected. That's it for day one.
I think it's fairly safe to say that yesterday there were a few challenges. So the trick is to learn from them. How are we going to change things today and sort things out so that we don't make the same mistakes all over again?
Day two, and the first job is to examine the repair to the damage caused by the post falling yesterday.
How's that turned out? Not too bad. A bit of loss there. Hopefully that is still right sort of thickness. Probably need to get that in sooner rather than later. I still have to work out how to get some of the twist out of this beam. It needs to come down and then can clamp together. It's going to be fun. So 2 ammo boxes that are these days filled with nuts and bolts and G-clamps, so solid iron weight. They are providing the weight to allow me to pull down on this beam, which is twisting the main beam square and allows it to be pulled in using the ratchet straps. Now that it's all in place, I need to drill the securing holes and ram some pegs in to hold it together. And then hopefully I can let loose all the tension. That's the best we're going to get. We are tight in there. Because I should have packed all those out a lot better than I did.
Whilst the peg holes were pre-drilled in the mortises, they need drilling through the tenons. In green oak, they would be offset so that as the oak dries and shrinks, it pulls the joint together. Dry oak doesn't shrink as much, so I can drill through without the offset.
These are actually leftovers from the old garage that I built down in London. So 12mm oak dowels, perfect for pegging everything together. Probably need to put a little bit of a chamfer on the end, just so they go home easily. That one I'm happy to stick through. That one I'm happy to stick through. Trim. All right. Lovely.
I want to secure the rafters and studs to the beam before I release the twist, as they will all help a little to counteract that twist. The studs are notched to fit around the sole plate so that their outer faces are flush with the sole plate's outer face, ready to attach the tongue and groove later. A series of cuts are made with the miter saw set to depth, then the remaining waste is knocked out with a chisel. The studs are secured in place with stainless steel coach bolts.
So I need to push a 10mm through there till I hit home. And then I need to put very carefully 8mm through without going to the far end. Deep enough. That is 70. Do I have 60mm stainless steel bolts? What I need is a 10x60, because if I do that, that is awfully close to the, come on focus, that is awfully close to the timber I'm poking through. So what I'm going to do for now is I will put multiple washers on to pad it out so it doesn't push through, and I'll get hold of some 10x60s over the next day or two. That's the tension off. It's moved a little, but not too much. That's good.
And that brings day 2 of construction to a close.
Day 3. Need to get the remaining studs for supporting the tongue and groove up, and I still need to do the end bay. Don't know which I'm going to do first, but I have managed to get down to the local hardware store, and that means I have bolts to replace those two with the correct length. So I'll do that first.
The longer bolts won't go to waste, they will be used elsewhere.
Moths were hiding in the beam. Gonna have to get them out before they get squished. Alright, just another job to the list. So that joint has gone together pretty perfectly, all just slotted into place. Little bit of trimming to get the brace to fit, but it's all looking good. Why that didn't happen the other day, don't know. Well, I do know. The timber was twisted. Oh well, onwards. So the trick with lifting heavy things is to move the centre of gravity as little as possible and to use the thing's own leverage. Now the centre of gravity of this is about here in the middle of space, but if I can pivot off the bottom and bring the top down, it means the centre of gravity will move from here to here, which is a much smaller lift than a deadlift. Of course it could all go horribly wrong. Well, let's find out. So good so far. It's just about balancing. Good. There. That looks like it's going to be a lovely fit when I get it pulled out and round. Okay. I suspect the problem is actually we need to be straight. Sorry. Yeah, we're going in, we're making progress. Right. Yes, if you're going to do it, you want to do it over. Good. That's sealed. I wonder if that has now if we pressure that way, okay, we should be good. Now, after many years of venerable service, I managed to put a drill bit through the ratchet strap. That's no longer safe. If we try and put any weight on that, significant weight, it'll just tear. So I've had to go and buy some new ones. What I think I need to do is take a few millimeters off the end of this because it's contacting with the tenon on that brace on the inside there. I can take some measurements to work out what's actually happening.
Yeah, that'll be the 2 or 3 mil that I couldn't close.
With the north end of the frame in place, rafters are added to hold everything vertical. Which brings day 3 to a close.
It's not much, but it has drifted from a right angle, probably 0.5 centimetre over the whole height of the building. So, wondering whether I can just pull it back square. That's the gap I've got here. If I pull everything that way 0.5 centimetre, might just close that gap up a little bit, which will be quite useful.
The angled straps try to pull everything square, and with that, a short day 4 comes to an end.
Day 5, and I've got the whole of the day in order to get stuff done. I need to finish stud work around there, and there are some bits in the ends in order to support the free end of the roof that all need to go in, and they've got to be cut to length. So that's going to probably take most of the day. So I've been trying to work out what do I do here around the drain pipe that is cutting through the roof structure. And he's going to, we're not going to take that out. And the current plan is to put a fresh rafter in there. I've got one spare. Before I do that, it would be nice to get another securing screw in there to mimic what's on that side, get the spacings equal for the rafter coming across there, and get a hole drilled in the top to locate it. I think I can do that. There's not a lot of clearance, but oops, if my little right angle drill bit sort of fits in there, so we should be okay. Good. That's in. It's going to help all of that, isn't it? Right. Got a pointy bit on it. Don't touch the pointy bit. But is that enough? Going at a funny angle. Is that enough to have made the mark we need? And so there. That is secure. Ooh, it's a bit of a twisty. All right. Try and get in down there. Go on, twist all of that. There's me hole. There's the hole. That's it, we're in. Rafters are all in, pegs next, and then that is the frame done, and I can move on to the stud work. Time for a cup of tea.
The front edge of the roof is assembled. Short lengths of timber are held in place with dowels.
So this is where the tolerances in timber kicks in compared with the absolutely precise engineering drawings in the CAD package. There is a 2mm discrepancy, if that, between the end of the rafter here and this, and that is all butt up against the beam like it should be. I think I can live with that. By the time I've got the roof felt on and wrapped over, that'll all disappear.
More vertical studs are added. They will eventually support the tongue and groove that forms the walls. And that brings day 5 and the first week of construction to a close. Roof and walls still to go, but that's for another day.